As you probably recall, the Women's March made headlines around the world just about this time last year, and the 2018 version of the event will be next weekend. It's kind of taken a whole new meaning after the rise of the Me Too movement. Carole Wacey is the CEO of one of the groups that will be taking part. That would be the Women's City Club of New York, and we're grateful to have you here. Tell us a little about the Women's City Club and what it does.
Thanks for having me, Gus.
Yeah.
The Women's City Club has been around since 1915.
Wow.
102 years. We just celebrated our centennial, and we're a multi-issue activist organization working on important issues that affect the lives of New Yorkers. So we tackle a lot of things, and we're here really to support New Yorkers across the city.
When you say 1915, I'm guessing that was sort of for the suffragette movement and now the political issues of the day. What are you guys focused on in particular these days?
Yeah, so back then, to your point, we were working on, on the right to vote, and still there's lots of issues around some of our early challenges. So really thinking about health care and reproductive rights, workers' rights, equal pay. We work on a lot of issues. Most recently we were working on sort of the issue about the salary ban, not having people ask about salary history, which unfortunately disadvantaged mostly women and minorities. So we really try to work on important issues of equity.
And is that something that's now illegal for potential employers to ask? It depends on the state, or is that a federal?
Yeah, here in New York.
Oh, here in New York.
You cannot ask anybody about their salary history.
Talk to me about the march. I know a lot of your members were there last year. This sort of march, sort of organically grew that day, in particular here in New York and across the country. What was their experience like with that?
Yeah, so there were about 400,000 people marching here in New York City. We're hoping to have even more this year, so we want to encourage everyone to come out and march. And across the country, almost 5 million people were marching, are the numbers. So for people who come out, marching is really about coming together with your neighbors, people you don't know, talking about things that are important. There's a lot that's happened over the past year, and we really want to come together, think about what's happened, and think about, mostly the theme for this year is about marching into action. How do we march together and then take action on issues that are important to us? How do we help to improve lives of our fellow New Yorkers and across the country as well?
Now, last year the march seemed to be fueled a lot by the political climate of the time. I don't pretend that's not an issue here, but we've also seen, as I mentioned in the introduction, the rise of the Me Too movement. And kind of how do those two interface come next week?
Yeah, well, Me Too has been certainly a rallying cry. It's really shined a spotlight on some of the big challenges that are happening. Just here in New York this past week, the governor came together and he issued a report on the status of women and girls, and is really addressing issues of sexual harassment, health care, all the issues that we care about. So it's really important that we find ways, like what the governor's doing, to come together and really take action. So that's really a big part of it. It's great to come together, but then we really want vehicles to really take action. So organizations like the Women's City Club are really helping to provide forums for people to come together, work on important issues, and make a difference.
You touched upon that. Obviously, there's a lot of political organization, lobbying. If you're looking to change laws, you got to take that fight to Albany and to the politicians. So when you take it to the streets, what is it doing to the hearts and minds of people who are advocating?
Yeah, I think for all of us, when we stand sort of shoulder to shoulder, neighbor, with our friend, with people we don't know, talking just even informally about things that we care about, we learn from each other, we learn about their struggles, and we hopefully find ways literally to march forward on these issues.
A lot of people, men and women, young and old, might want to take part next week. If they're here in the tri-state area, where should they go?
Yeah, so next Saturday, January 20th, we're all meeting up on Central Park West. The rally starts at 11:30, 72nd and Central Park West. If you want to join us and march with us at the Women's City Club, we certainly invite you to do so. Check out WCCNY.org. We'll give you all the details on where you can join us. But the most important thing is do something, come out and march with us. The weather looks pretty good. Thank you for that, Raph.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to coming out on a nice, beautiful, sunny day and making a difference and really marching forward for this country in positive ways that we all know we can achieve.
Thanks for coming in today. Carole Wacey with the Women's Center Club of New York. We wish you luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The time's 9:56. We'll send it over to the desk. Here's Pat Paddle.